Hi guys, it's Hani here, and today I'm going to share with you a step-by-step tutorial on how to decorate these adorable Christmas doll cookies. To make the cookies, I used the cutter that I designed years ago, and I don't think it's available anywhere, guys, but you can find it in my template shop. There is a cookie cutter template for this shape, and if you wanted to check it out, link is in the description box under the video. Now to decorate, I'm using royal icing, and to make the face I used skin tone royal icing that is about 20 to 25 second consistency. And to make the skin tone, I combined two colors. I used ivory and I added minuscule amount of pink. Now this doll is going to wear a cape, and underneath the cape she's wearing a dress, and I want part of the dress to be exposed. So now we're going to work on the dress. I'm using pastel blue, and I just used a tiny amount of sky blue food coloring to get this color, and we're just gonna spread a thin layer of royal icing onto the cookie. I'm using a flat food only paintbrush that comes from a set of 5 paintbrushes that I absolutely love. These are by Wilton, and I do have them listed in my Amazon shop. Let that crust well, and then we can work on a hair. To make the hair, I'm using golden yellow, and at the end you'll see that I also use some brown on some of the dolls. Now to make the brown, you can use straight from a bottle of food coloring that if you have brown. If you don't have brown, you can also use red and green if you have red and green. And to make this golden yellow, I used lemon yellow with a touch of orange. You want to use icing that is about 20 to 25 second consistency. Runny icing will give you inconsistent results because you can't really control very much where you're piping or how your icing is spreading. Now to decorate the bottom, the dress part, I am spreading a thin layer of sky blue on the dry portion, and then with a small round paintbrush, I'm using circular motion, creating, these would be roses or rosettes. It just creates a really nice texture in your royal icing. Your royal icing should be about piping consistency, the sky blue. It shouldn't be too runny because then your texture is going to disappear and blend together, so you don't want that. Now I'm only going to expose part of the dress, so whatever is behind the border that I just created or guideline, I want to scrape that off. I don't want to have a bulky area there because we'll be piping some red icing on there. And now we can use the red. I used super red food coloring from Emery Color brand, and this is this should be about 15 to 20 second consistency. I'm going to do the right side, and then we can do the left side, and then we have to let that crust, which is going to take maybe 50 minutes or so, or an hour, and then we can do the hood. Now when making red, I would suggest that you allow your color to rest, at least for a couple hours, best to let it rest overnight and even for several days. The color deepens as it rests and you don't have to use as much food coloring. Okay, you can see the bottom is crusted. It's not dry, you can see it's still shiny, but it is crusted, so it's safe for me to do the hood. I'm going to go around the face. Increase the pressure on your piping bag so more icing is coming out, so it can seal that gap between the face and the hood, so you don't have to work with your scribe around the face. Sometimes working too closely can cause problems. You can move the icing too far onto the face, and I don't want that. I'm using a metal scribe here because this is such a small area, and it works better if you are using a fine scribe to get the details done. Now we have to let that dry, and now I'm going to use this is Everclear. I'm going to mix it with some pearl luster dust in a dry form, and I'm just making a paint, and I'm going to use this on a dress. I want the dress to shimmer a little bit, so I'm going to spread it and paint the dress. Ideally you want to make all the cookies, and then once it's dry you can do the painting on all of the cookies all at once. And now with stiff royal icing, pipe a zigzag border around the face, and I'm going to dust it with some white sanding sugar. Isn't that pretty? And we're going to add a lamp also on the bottom of the cape on both sides. I'm just going back and forth with my piping bag. And for the recipe for the royal icing, if you are new to my YouTube channel, it's listed on my blog hanielas.com, and also it's listed here on my YouTube channel, and all the links are in the description box under the video. Now if needed, you can use fat dry paintbrush to remove some sugar residue. Now I'm going to add some blush to the cheeks. I'm using pink petal dust and a brush, and then remove it with, I used the decorating bottle and some air. You don't want to blow on your cookies. And now to finish up the ribbon, I'm going to make some cute little pom-poms. I'm piping onto the parchment, and I'm going to dust these dots with white sanding sugar, and then we have to let them dry. Now you can actually make this ahead of time. This is also a great way to make flower centers. You could use yellow royal icing or brown royal icing to make flower centers, and then just pop them on your cookies or transfers, whatever you're making. I'm going to let that dry. It's going to take several hours, and then we can remove these. Look how cute. These will last pretty much indefinitely if you store them properly away from moisture and direct sunlight. Now add a dot, and then you can press them on like so. Now to make the facial features, I decided to use an edible marker. This is a rainbow dust fine tip edible marker. And lastly, I'm going to paint the bow with some gold paint. You can just use straight from a bottle gold paint, or you can mix gold luster dust with some Everclear or vodka. And here is the doll with brown hair. It almost looks black. And that's how you can make these Christmas doll cookies. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I think these turned out super cute. Really a nice addition to a cookie platter if you are making cookies this holiday season. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified about my new uploads. And I will see you next time.